They are our inspiration, our hope, mentors, and game changers. They are your leaders in the political arena, business world, entertainment, and in the paradise of sports. We bring you their stories on the Profile 256. Let's sit, learn, and get to know them better than we do. Only on Shutia TV.
Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Mitala and this is the Profile 256. Now you realize in the past 3 episodes we've been talking to only men, and you could be asking yourself, where are the women? Today I'm really excited that we have a woman on set. She is a communications person, but then we are going to be digging deep into who she really is. We are at her place and we're happy to be hosted in this beautiful home. Good morning, lady.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Now, someone watching out there would love to know who you are, what's your name, and where are you born?
My name is Kyakuhaire. I work with Prudential Uganda as the Marketing and Communications Officer. I was born in the oil city, that is
Oima?
Masindi.
Oh,
Masindi, by 2 lovely parents, mom and dad, and they're both still alive. Yes.
So, when you were born, which kind of baby were you? Which kind of girl were you while growing up?
Of course, I wouldn't know, but then my mom told me that among all her girls, I was this baby who never used to cry. Like, she would leave me and walk to the market, go graze, and should come back. The only thing that would make me cry is maybe hunger. But apart from hunger, I was this cool baby.
So which school did you go to for primary or nursery?
I unfortunately didn't go to nursery school. I went straight to primary 1, and I went to Masinport Parents. It's in Masinport, currently Chiriandongo district. Yeah. After my primary, I went to Chigumba Intensive, still the same district, Chiriandongo district. Then my high school, I was in Nakasongola at a Tangala Transformation High School.
So while in primary and secondary, were you involved in any activities like co-curricular activities? Were you into music? Were you into drama? Were you into dance? Were you into scripture union, straight talk, young talk?
While in primary, I was just a prefect, but then I came to explore these other activities when I was in high school. I remember first I was in netball. I'm a soccer person. I just went into netball because they said ladies do netball, but then I loved soccer. I would never miss out on any soccer game, like at school, the competitions we had, the Coca-Cola competitions. I would make sure I'm part of the cheerleaders that I wouldn't play soccer. So apart from netball, because I offered literature, I was among the Biwajita Link Club, where we did debates and everything. So I was among the admins of that club. I didn't do so much activities well in high school. I was just this backbencher, stubborn person who would never show her face.
So you have this kind of innocent face, but then deep down there's a stubborn fella in you.
No, I'm actually still innocent, but I don't like calling myself an introvert, but I am this person who loves behind the scenes. Like, I'm at the back. I'm there. You may not realize that I'm there. You may not see me, but I'm always there sometimes.
So you said primary, which school was it?
Masinport Parents.
And then secondary?
Chigumba Intensive.
So at Chigumba Intensive, you spent 6 years at Chigumba Intensive?
No, 4 years.
Then the 2 years, where were you?
Tangala Transformation High School. It's a school under an NGO called Cornerstone Development Africa.
Yeah. So what was your dream while growing up? Who did you want to be? Who did you want to see years ahead? Like probably 10 years ahead. What were you dreaming to be?
I would say I didn't have someone specifically I was looking up to, but I was this since way back when I was a kid, even when I was still in my primary, when I would go back home and listen to a radio, I would ask mom and the older people, like, how is that person speaking the small radio? How do they fit there? I see our radio is so small. So how does this person get there? I want to be there one day. I also want to speak through. I want to be in that radio.
So in short, you wanted to be on radio.
On a journalist, like Mnamaulide, because I was so much fan of news. When this lady would come to anchor, I was like, okay, I want to be like her, I want to be in the radio. So I grew up thinking of being in that radio. But then by the time I came to realize that actually they have studios, so I was like, okay, I want to be in a studio. I want to anchor news. I want to be. As I grew, I came to know that the career is actually called journalism.
So while growing up in those different schools, were you this kind of a bookworm, or books weren't your thing?
Books were not my thing, guys. I hope my boss doesn't watch this. She may doubt how I made it. But my books weren't my thing.
Different successful people have not had books being their thing. The other time I was talking to Mr. Mpindi about CEO Media Challenge, and for him he says, I wasn't a bookworm. Me, I was just a bit kind of a chiller, but I could pass.
Yeah. I loved sleep so much. So when others would go for preps, I would instead dodge. And maybe say I was this loved kid by my teachers, because they knew I'm this innocent kid. So if I say I have a headache, I can't read, they would believe me. But then most times I would really be lying. I was this kid who would have a paper the next day, and I had to cram like a whole book.
Wow.
Actually, the next few hours, I make sure I pass through those, because the way we used to write is just the bullets. So I'd make sure I memorize most of them. Of course, sometimes I would misfire questions because of that cramming, but I wasn't a book person. I think I should thank God that I was just gifted maybe with the brain, because whenever I would read through, when we're going for a paper, you come out and body has passed.
So you're done with your A-level after doing which kind of combination?
I did hell. Hell, computer. History, entrepreneurship, literature, stroke computer.
Wow. And you had passed your sciences like in O-level?
Comment withheld.
So after your hell computer, you joined university. Which university did you join?
Kampala International University.
And which course were you doing?
I did mass comm, of course. Mass communications.
So how was the experience while at campus? You were from which school?
Tangala, and a school that kind is not known.
In the outskirts of
Kampala, of course.
And so what was the experience? Young beautiful lady that gets from the other side to now Kampala.
Yeah. So maybe I would just take us back even before. The way I joined my campus was just a miraculous, something that I didn't expect. So after my senior six, I had to go back deep in the village in Chiriandongo, and I told mom, I've just finished senior six and I can't sit home. I can't be home this whole vac. She's like, even campus, you're not going there, so just relax. If it means grazing, you graze. Or kuterewe chalani. I was like, I don't see myself there, because like you asked me, whom did I grow seeing or wanting to be? As I grew up, I realized there is a person I wanted to become. There is this thing in me. I didn't know exactly how I would get there, but I felt I would be this kind of big person, or I have to go to school, I have to finish campus, I have to do whatever it takes for me to get where I want to be. So I had to call one of my sisters in Kampala, and I tell her, lie to mom that you got me a job in Kampala so that I would leave village. And my sister had to do so. She lied to mom that, hey, I got Molly a job, let her come. I came to Kampala, and that was a hassle. Remember, she was also still hustling just out of campus. she couldn't accommodate me. We were living in a small single room, two of us, and he used to pay 100,000 by then. Really, can imagine the kind of house. So I hustled like from December, Jan. If there is a company that I didn't drop my papers, your company tell you those, we would move like every day. It's now morning, it's a Monday, even on a weekend.
Now you just in your Form 6 back.
Yes, I'm dropping my senior 4 docs.
Senior
4 documents. And then where I would get someone, they say, no, we need the senior 6 certificate, something. I would use my sister's. Like I go as my sister, Kellen. So, but never did I receive a call from any company interested.
Where were you getting that kind of zeal to, wake up every day and then drop papers to all the places you thought you could be employed in?
So one, remember back home, we lied to them that I got a job of 300,000 per month.
But your sister was working.
She had her mobile money that was also not paying. She was still at campus finalizing her final year. So she was also a hustler.
Money was hers.
Yes. But it wasn't that because she had less capital in it. So we all didn't look at it as something. And remember, I told these guys, when you tell parents that you're working, they expect you to help them at a certain stage. So I had to make sure I get a job to fulfill what mother wanted me to, because she sent me to Kampala saying, "Genda mwana wange osanga oli nyambako n'ekintu." So then the other thing is I couldn't just sit home the whole day watching TV. Actually, didn't have a TV. Just home like that. I would be bored. So I wanted to get a job. So who was working at
your sister's mobile money?
She and one of her helper that I found there, and they couldn't just fire her because of me. She couldn't entrust me with her business. And this other helper who was there was good. She was really good. So, and I thought, and she was getting really little money. She was paying her 50K per month. And that's not the money I wanted to settle for. I was so proud even by looking for a job. But she helped me in that I didn't know Kampala. So we used to move with her everywhere, drop papers everywhere, drop even her documents. Sometimes I go as her, but things even to be a Ghana.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Hope I'm right, but I think I'm right. Being a beautiful lady, very young at that time, you must have met different men, and then you kept on applying to different places, and of course they could see you, and there are people that thought they could take advantage of that, probably to use you in any way?
Yeah, there's one guy, I wouldn't say many of them. One was my sister's friend, who was like, I can give her a job, her a job, let her come. So we dropped my papers. Like we told him that I only have senior 4 certificates. He's like, I don't need certificates, let me just meet her. I don't need those credentials, let me just meet her. So I go but he tells my sister not to go with me. He directs her where we'll find some other lady that will take me up to his office. So my sister is like, I don't trust that guy. Why would he stop me from going with you? So we walk with her up to I didn't know Kampala by then. I don't know where we stopped. I left there. My sister went, phoned the lady they had told to wait for me. I walk with the lady, get to the guy's office. He's like, Molly, your sister is my friend and you're a beautiful lady. He told me that you're a beautiful lady and you shouldn't have to suffer. I'm going to get you a job. I don't need your credentials. Your face will sell my business. I was like, okay, thank you for appreciating. It's like, we just need a lunch date at a certain hotel. He told me a certain hotel. I don't remember the name. I was like, okay, I'll get back to you. Just the lunch date in a hotel with a hotel room. He was so frank and honest. And I felt so, I don't know if I can describe how I felt. I felt this guy was disrespecting me, saying my credentials won't work since they're still small and my face can take me anywhere. That was like, That was like maybe he was appreciating that I'm beautiful, but then him telling me we meet in a hotel for just 2 days. I went back, told my sister, you know what, I won't make it. She's like, but we've been looking for a job and he's here giving you 800, which means, lady, I can't just open up my legs for a job of 800,000. This job can end soon. What will happen? How will I be after? So she's like, but this is what is happening in town. That's what ladies are doing to get jobs. The girls you see looking smart and everything.
Your sister was saying you should open up your legs for this guy to get the job.
She didn't say that exactly, but she told me, Molly, do whatever it takes for you to get this job.
So what did you get to decode from that? What did you get to understand out of that statement?
I didn't want to judge her because we had really suffered a lot. We had moved, we had suffered with her. We had gone through so much, in that if I was this weak-hearted lady who'd really don't care, just sleeping with the guy one day. Not normally more. But I just thought far. I think she didn't give it time to think. But actually, after I had refused to go for a job, she's like, you're right, I'm Saja Manira. So, because he later turned again to go for her. Oh. Yeah, so that's when she came and realized actually that was the wrong guy. But I wouldn't blame her. But I learned a lesson that most times we ladies, we cry of sexual harassment and everything because we are so desperate for these things, and we feel if the opportunity has come, but it is putting this condition, and it's easy because if I slept with him, it wouldn't be written in my face, but then it would be written in my heart and feelings. I would know that I actually gave in for this job. So I just learned that sometimes people go through a lot and we never understand. But I didn't go for that job, so I remained on the streets.
Wow. So in that kind of search or quest for a job, did God answer your prayers to get a job even before you joined campus?
I would say I got 2 mini jobs. I don't know whether I should call them a job. So during that period, we had a guy who'd come and visit the mobile money. We also were selling movies. By then, my sister used to sell movies in the mobile money thing. So this guy would supply us movies, would supply my sister movies. So one day, my sister asked him, don't you have a job you can give my sister? He's like, by the way, I have a small boutique in Gaba. She can come and be selling. So I go to Gaba, I start going to Gaba. It used to cost me 500. I was staying in Kansanga. It used to cost me 500 from Kansanga to Gaba. The job that was there is to sell menswear, like trousers, t-shirts. So how was I paid? If I sell a jean, the men jeans, at 30K, and the actual price that the boss wants is 35. So I have to make sure I sell it 40. Then the 5K, that's my salary. But if you, Joshua, come and bargain on the trouser, and I end up giving 35. I don't have salary there. So I would earn on whatever shirt or trouser I would
sell. So in short, it was just like commission?
Kind of. So I felt sometimes I would not have any sales. So the girlfriend of that guy had to give me 1,000, like every time if I don't sell that day. So life was still, I told my sister, you know what, 5K wasn't helping me, the 1K wasn't helping me a day. And I was this proud woman that, no guys, so bad. Because some people would come, maybe they're giving you a lift, you would save a 5K, I would say, no, 500. I would say, no, I'm not going with you. Sometimes they would say, can we go for lunch? I was this, I will not. So I had that pride in me that I shouldn't just go for things because I'm desperate. So sometimes I would walk from Gaba to Kansanga. I would leave early if I don't have any 500 to move me in a taxi. So after that, I told my sister, you know what, I can't. Then there is a lady who used to dress my sister, like where my sister used to buy her clothes. One day she's like, "Mpo," she was pregnant. She was like, "Mpa sister wanyambengako." So that's the kind of job maybe I would call a job. She used to pay me 20,000 per week. It was still a boutique. So it was that period until I had no hope for campus, of course. By then it was around coming to May, and campus starts August. Yeah. So when I was the lady, this organization that owns Echitangala, where I finished senior 6, they started giving out opportunities of 2 students from Echitangala, best student from Echitangala.
And you're among the best students?
No.
You rushed to answer that.
Yeah.
Were you far away from the best?
No, I wasn't far away. I think in arts I was like third, because they were like, I was the fourth because there were 3 guys who did Kiswahili, and Kiswahili was this walkover thing, so they had more points. No, those guys got 6, like A, and we the hell people were in B. So when they set out those 2 positions, that if you were the best student, please come to the head offices. They were in Kololo. So I tell my sister, I want to borrow money from you. I want to go to Kololo and see if I can get this opportunity. She's like, "Molly, just work hard. No one will come to save your ass. I don't have money to take you to Kololo, bring you back." I mean, there were no taxis that would take me up to there. So it meant I had to get a border. I would tell my sister, and my sister thought I was wasting time because I'm not among the best students. The Mzungu guy doesn't know me personally, doesn't know my story. She didn't see a way through for me to get there. So I was like, just give me 5K, I'll pay you. So I got a border with the head office. I asked the guys who were there, like, I want to see that Mzungu. Like, who are you? Because they also didn't know me. I was just a student who finished from their school, a school of thousands of kids. I was like, you may not know me, but you know me. I just want to talk to Uncle Tim. We call him Uncle Tim. They take me to his office, and he was free. I tell him, "Uncle, my name is Molly. I finished from Echitangala. I know you don't know me, but please know me from today." He's like, "You came to say that?" I was like, "Yeah, I just came to say hi." He's like, "Okay." He gets out a 20K, gives me. Good day. The next time I come back, I went to him. I tell him, "You know what? Do you remember me?" He's like, "Yes, Molly, I remember you, the lady from Echitangala." I try to tell him my VAC story. He gets touched, and I tell him, "I don't need sympathy right now. I need to go to campus." He's like, "Wow, you're determined. Are you among the best?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, that will be too hard for me to get in because it's a process. There are directors that have to vet who gets into this program." I was like, "Okay." But he says, please, he walks me to a certain guy's office who was spearheading that. He tells him, "This is Molly, wants to join campus, but let her tell you her story." So I was like, now this Mzunga has brought me back to the Muganda man. By the time I get to office just to say hi to the director, the Cornerstone director, it sounded crazy. I didn't know what to do, but the guy smiled at me. He's like, "Wow, talk to me." I told him my story. Is like, "You know what? KIU is giving bursaries, 50% bursary, so you should apply to KIU." I was like, even if I get that 50% bursary, I can't get the 50%. He's like, "Let's try." We go to KIU, they tell us how to get on the 50% bursary. He then says, the balance is too much because we're paying 1.4. So if KIU gives me a bursary, means I still have 700 to pay. Then I tell him I can't. He's like, "You know what, let's go to YMCA." I go and apply to YMCA because they needed. And I specifically wanted mass journalism and mass communication. But when I go to YMCA, I don't know what happened. This guy tells me to apply for fashion and designing. I was so mad. I remember getting the application forms, filling them, and tearing them after reaching home. I told him, "You know what, I can't just make it."
So you tore the application for YMCA?
Yeah, because I felt I wasn't okay with fashion and designing. I wanted journalism. I didn't care whether I started on a certificate level, then diploma, and then degree. Me, I wanted journalism. I don't know why I didn't apply for journalism at YMCA. So during that time when they're telling me to apply to different universities and see how much, whether it was lesser than 700 at KIU, I went back to Uncle Tim, the Mzungu guy. I told him, you know what, where they're taking, I don't like where they're taking me. He's like, you know what, Molly, apply for the 50% at KIU. I'll give you the 50% for only this semester. I want to get you started. He used his own money, his own cash, not the organization money.
Wow.
So we planned the whole, we would do the whole KIU 50% and everything. I get to campus, I tell mom, so I had tuition, but then I didn't have hostel fee. And where I was staying with my sister, something had happened and I had to leave.
What happened?
Okay. We just got misunderstandings. Let me say that.
Did your sister get married? Or?
No, she is not married. We just...
Biological sister, same mother, same father?
No, she's a cousin, but we grew up together. Since childhood, we were in the same home. We went to the same schools, like everything, so we were like biological sisters. She's just a cousin. Yeah.
So you got misunderstandings.
Yeah. Before
You couldn't stay together.
Yeah, I got misunderstandings because of this Cornerstone thing. Like, I used to borrow money from her going to Cornerstone and she felt I was wasting time. But then there are other issues, like people you stay together and hasn't contributing anything. So I think she was also overwhelmed and she got bitter.
Okay, let me just ask this. Now you finished senior 6. Daddy and mommy are around.
Yeah.
You have some siblings behind.
Sure.
And you tell mommy and daddy you've gotten a job in Kampala. So you come to Kampala and you start applying. You don't have the job, but you're just applying.
Yeah.
So didn't mommy and daddy ever get to you to find out whether you've got the job you're doing? What job are you doing? What could you tell them? And then besides that, were there plans of mommy and daddy pushing you to campus?
I'll start with that. No, they didn't have plans. Even when I reached out to them that I actually got away, I got away to get to campus. Someone is helping me with the 50% and the university is giving me 50%. They were like, okay, that's for this semester. So after this semester, what will you do?
It's because the money wasn't available.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So you asked me whether they ever followed up to know what kind of job. They knew I was working in a supermarket. They paid me 300,000. They had never come to Kampala to visit it. Even there is a time one of our uncles came, and then my sister tells me, Molly, they're going to call you, but please don't receive the call. I'm going to tell them your bosses don't allow you to see people, to see your family while at work. So I had to stay away from town. They came, met my sister, and went back. He called me, he's like, later, he's like, I came to see you and where you work from, but I'm told they don't allow visitors at your workplace. I was like, oh yeah, I missed you. So we played the whole game and no one actually...
So how did you finally end up at university?
Yeah, so I get the 50% of course from Uncle Tim, and I had applied for KIU and went through for the 50%. I start the semester, but then I have nowhere to go to sleep, meaning I need money for the hostel. So I go home in the village. I tell mom, you know what? So something happened. I'm getting to campus, but I don't have where to sleep. She's like, Rachitobideka, you can't. We've already helped you get to senior 6, and we don't know whether your siblings will make it there. Can't you just appreciate and maybe get a job and work for your siblings instead and help us with your siblings? I'm like, just get me 400. I'll never get back. I'll never disturb you again. Like, man, I don't have. Dad had to sell one of his cows, his lovely cows. Until now, he tells me about it. So I get 500, get a hostel of 300 per semester. Later, basement Kayola. That's where I had to go for the first semester. So as the semester was ending, so because I wasn't among the best students those guys were looking for, but then one of the best student misbehaves and loses the position. I should say it was God working in my favor, because them telling me I can't make it there because I wasn't among the best students, and this guy was a good guy, the one who lost the scholarship. He was a good guy, but from nowhere he says Sagala Kusoma. Wow. I'm done. He starts drinking, and
so you replaced that one. And
just from nowhere, I wasn't the next person in line. They would have definitely, because I was the second person, the fourth person in arts, the best person in arts. So they would have picked the third person. But they came to me because I was this determined woman who would be at the offices every now and then, just coming to say hi to them, just like they used to see me in their faces and they knew my story.
So in this one, misbehaves, it's now you in the line, yes, and then you take over his position.
Yeah,
now his money now is transferred to your account.
Yes. So I was called before the semester had ended. Remember, the semester we had paid for everything, so it had ended, and I didn't know what was next. So it was 1 month to the end of the semester, looking forward to the second semester. I knew I would go back to village, of course, and maybe cry again to mommy and letting them sell another cow. But then, just from nowhere, these guys called me, Molly, can you come to office? I go to office, they take my documents, I have to sign somewhere because these are NGO funds. And they tell me, from today until the end of your campus type, you're sorted.
Take care of your tuition.
Tuition, and they would also give me
hostel.
Upkeep.
And hostel?
No, hostel is supposed to be my parents.
Wow, so now it's just glory to God. That was just a miracle. So now, who was paying the hostel to?
So the hostel, they would give me per semester an upkeep of 300.
Wow.
The first semester, second semester. The first semester, my mom gave me the money. Second semester, I used the upkeep as my hostel fee. Third, that is first year done. Second year, a friend, he's a guy, just from nowhere we would meet at church. He would say hi. He knew my sister, so they were friends but not so close. I think he tried to vibe her, but she didn't give in. So he became a friend, but not so close. So we used to meet at church and say hi. So one day we meet at church. He was in the parking lot. Can I drop you? I'm like, yeah, drop me at the hostel. He's like, you staying in this hostel? Yeah. We just chat. I'm like, yeah. By the way, I'm flying out. Could you be in my house? Could you stay in my house? Because I want my things to stay there. And I don't just want to be paying for free. If you feel free, could you shift to my house? I was like, oyagala kunkwana. If I wanted, I would have started with that. I just feel you're somewhere you're not comfortable. Like after I told him the hostel stories, you know, we're in a room of like eight students, 8 girls. Yes, but different. You know, those decas in a hostel.
Were they like cubicles or just one room?
It's like a small single room with 3 decas.
Okay.
So we were so many. I wasn't this outgoing person, but there are these people who would come back drunk. There are these guys who would bring ngabatekako lombeto, manyi lombeto. They come with their bajaneba boyfriends, ne babere mu lombeto.
Really?
I was this prayerful woman because my first semester I wouldn't know what is next, so I used to pray, I used to fast. Sometimes breaking my fast, I felt they're taking away my spirit.
I understand.
I feel so
now you leave hostel journey.
Yes, so I first hesitated. I mean, how would someone who doesn't know me that much give me his house, give me his room? But then, I don't know, a friend of mine, I talked to a friend, is like, Molly, what do you want? This is God. The guy is not going to be around, that maybe he will be coming and maybe saying he wants to sleep around. Like, I called the guy, I'm like, when are you flying out? He's like, I've actually gone already, but pick the keys from the landlady. I told her to expect you. I was like, so do I get in as your girlfriend? And Molly Kakana, I was like, yeah, for real, you've helped me. So I was like, for how long? And when you come back, where will I go? I'm like, can you just embrace this moment? So I had to let go of my fears. Remember the proud me who I really didn't want this guy to take advantage of me. I was so curious. But then I went to the house. That is the second year all gone. This guy would send rent to the landlord direct. I had never had
a full house.
No, it wasn't a full house. It was a small single room, but big for me, because like a hostel kind of with where I was.
Like a studio room for you now. It has everything.
Like everything, because I didn't have many clothes. The mattress I had at campus, I had nainaka inch 4x4. Ninkatekeyo kwanga nasangayo 6x6. Ninkatekeyo once. Like life changed. I mean, upkeep. Now my upkeep was really upkeep. Remember, I don't pay rent. The only thing I had to look up to myself is food, feeding, and maybe dressing. Whereby I wasn't that shopping person. So my upkeep was enough for the whole semester. 300 for 4 months. I was okay. So that was the life at campus.
So now you're now in second year, and then someone has offered their place. You don't paying rent. Mommy is comfortable. The other side, dad is comfortable.
Hostel, actually. I wouldn't tell them that I moved to a guy's house.
You're in hostel, but you moved into some other person's house.
Yes.
And then this person is taking good care of you. They're paying the rent for each month.
Yes.
So you're done with campus. So did you face any other troubles after that?
I don't remember the troubles really. The other troubles were these campus marks, of course, getting lost, blah blah. But after that,
so after you graduating, what were your plans now after graduation? Are you still staying in that guy's house? Is he still paying the rent? And
this is not the house. to clear that this
at that time, were you still
actually
staying?
I stayed there for 1 hour and 1 year and some good months.
Were
because
you looking for a job?
No, before I graduated, my second semester, in the third year, like the last semester, the guy comes back. So he's like, I have money.
Second semester, third year.
Yes, like that last semester. I have money. Can we go to a bigger house? I'm like, can we? He's like, Molly, you don't have to be scared. And I was like, no, one yamba new, and I appreciate. But if you're back and you're shifting, I don't have to be at your back again. At least what we want is there. So I get back to office. By then, the Cornerstone offices where I was getting my tuition from, I tell one of the guys who was the coordinator of all university students under Cornerstone. I tell him the story is like, we can give you money and you live. I told him the whole story as him. So he gave me money and walked out that house. We went to another rental where I had to just pay for that last semester only. I paid 500 for the whole semester. So I left this guy's house. So
now levels are now raising from someone who used to pay rent of 400,000. You're now paying 500,000.
Yeah. I mean, I had no job, and then I was established, and like I should say, every step that I was going on to, it would be God paving way. I mean, there is no any other student that Cornerstone has come out to pay for rent. You get, they give you upkeep, they give you tuition. There is no rent in there. So, but it just came when I told this guy my story. It's like, no, you don't have to go home with this guy. If he has helped you, let's get you money.
Okay, so how are you getting your job after campus?
So after campus, I go to my uncle's in SETA. But KIU required us to do internship. So we do 2 internships in your second year and your last year semester. So I had to look for internship. The first internship, I did it from my home district, Chiriandongo, at a certain radio station. And then the second one, I was like, I can't go back to Chiriandongo because I want a job within Kampala. I don't have to go back in the village. So the former radio where I went, they were still calling me. They wanted to give me a permanent job. but then it is in Chirandongo. Is my future there? At that time, I was like, no, I want to. So because I had to leave this rental house, I didn't have tuition. Since people were supporting me, knowing I'm still at campus, now I'm done. I can't still, hey, you understand? They no longer sympathize with you because you are my chiwede. So I get to my uncle. I have an uncle in Seta. I stayed there for a week. So I had an OB who was working with red pepper. He's like, by the mall, if you're looking for internship placements, why can't you come to red pepper? I was like, in all media houses? I got to red pepper. But then I was like, Molly, this is the time to let go of your ego. Go work. So I went there, asked for internship. They gave me internship placement at red pepper. I started doing the field thing, the writing in the business sector, not Aina. So I started writing, like I got every time, I wasn't paid. They were not paying me because since I was an intern. But of course, journalism things, you go get a story, now you can transport refund call. So I was living on that. Since I wasn't spending on feeding, I wasn't spending on rent, I wasn't. So the money, the transport refund they would give me to encourage me to go for another story. And I was this go-getter. So my editor liked me. Like, we were very many interns in the same field, but then it's me who would come back with the story. It's because I was so passionate about journalism.
So after that kind of intern, where to?
So as I'm still at red pepper, and the directors actually start liking me and they want to start paying me. The same period, Martin, my friend, Mordecai, I know you know him, he calls me for an opportunity at Record TV. The day I went at Record TV to meet the ED, the MD, as I'm getting back to SETA, my lecturer, former lecturer at KIU, calls me, hey Molly, this is Nana, and I'm currently working with I'm currently working with Prudential, and there's this opportunity in the marketing department. I was like, marketing, yeah, I feel you're the right person who can go for it. It's like, okay, what do I have to do? He's like, Molly, get home, call me. We talked like for an hour telling me how I should be, because this is not just this is not just the company. This is not just this small. It's a corporate company, and I'm this amateur girl. So it's like, Molly, you have to meet the lady, the manager. You have to behave like this. You have to say this. You have to be ready for such questions. Send me your CV. I update it. My lecturer, my former lecturer. So he did everything for me. He submitted. So I called Martin and I'm like, man, record over Prudential. He's like, Molly, you know what is best for you. Remember, I was so passionate about journalism. I really wanted to get on that TV.
And practice.
I really wanted to get there. I mean, but then Prudential is here giving me a PR. And good man, of course.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is journalism versus PR. This is growing this career. This is hustling as a journalist. Of course, I would start in the field. Molly's story, Sawa Mukaga. But this is a corporate job. This is something. So I was like, God, I know where you are. I know you want the best for me. So I leave this for you. So as I'm still in SETA and I don't know what to decide, whether Record TV or Prudential, Martin calls me. He's like, have they called you back? I'm like, no. I did make it at Record. So let me just go for Prudential. I meet the manager and then the interviews start. Who are like 20 people vying for the same position. But how it came down, like we did like 5 interviews. So every step, back Molly, going through to the next stage. Okay. I'm like, okay, out of the 10, I'm 3. Yeah, you're 5 now. The next stage. So I'll just say, I remember going to church for lunch hour, and I said, God, I just told God, I'm like, I've never been on such pressure. I've never had such pressure. I just feel this thing is for me, but the people are too many and they look too sharp. They look experienced. Imagine me from Red Pepper. For how many months? I've been at Red Pepper from May to then. By then it was September.
Wow. So I think that was a turning point in your life. And do you have that one moment that you look up to and then you say it broke you down? You consider it to be among your worst moments. Do you have that particular moment?
So it might not be a moment. It might be a period. Like I told you, the worst period I've ever gone through. That moment is when that guy put a condition for me to go with him in a hotel. I felt so down. I felt I would never make it up. If all big places act like this, if all bosses act like this, I felt I would never go. And then the next time was when I used to work for that commission, really. I just felt like a failure. But then I thank God that was the time I really knew God. I really became so close. I cried, I prayed, I did what?
And then the happy moments?
Happy moments.
The best moments.
There is that one call where they said, Molly, come sign your contract.
At Prudential.
Wow. You'll be paid this and this amount. Me doing a PR job for Prudential Uganda, because I googled the Prudential I was going to work for. I felt it's a bigger company for me. It was bigger than me, and that position was bigger than me. I mean, if the PR manager is not there, it's me.
So, do you ever get back to your cousin that helped you? Have you gotten back to thank her and then you're like, you know what, you did a lot for me?
Every day.
Every day.
The misunderstandings ended, but let's get back to, there is that lecturer who was just my lecturer, wasn't even my friend. He was just Martin's friend as well. So he knew me through Martin. So I don't know, the courage he got to look for my number, calling Martin, please give me Molly's number. I think she can do this.
Wow. So as we conclude, I would like you to share with us a few lessons you've learned out of this kind of life. And then probably someone out there could be someone in that kind of same or close situation. They could be able to learn something out of it. So are there those lessons you've drawn out of this?
Yeah, there are definitely many. But what I would start with is know your worth, know your value. Man, you can be so desperate and people despise you and people devalue, like bring you down. But if you know that one thing that you actually more than that, you're actually not what people think of you. When you know yourself better, I didn't know myself well, but I think it was God who was protecting me over that. But then know your worth, know what you can go for and what you don't have to go for. Then be ready, be available. Like I'll use an example. We had a job available at Prudential, and then I reached out to a friend who lost the job because of COVID. I asked her to send her a CV. She's like, Sina CV. I was so mad. I was like,
nange nafiiriddwa omulimu mu covid nange yatutte omulimu.
But you're working.
No.
So I realized if my former lecturer had reached out to me and said, Molly, bring your CV, I'm like, simanyi kola na CV, simanyi. So it gave me a lesson that be ready anytime. Opportunities will always avail themselves, but if you're not available, they will definitely skip you. So then patience. Yeah. I was so patient. I don't know why I had this confidence in me that one day sijakuba bulungi. So I didn't rush because I don't want to say this that I'm beautiful, but there are those opportunities that used to come because of my beauty. They're like, Molly so go for it. If I was that lady who would jump on everything, I think I wouldn't be here right now.
Wow. Out of this story, I think I'm moved, I'm motivated, I'm inspired. But a few lessons out of this is you need to know your worth. Truly, you need to know your worth. You need to be patient, and you need to have values as a person. You need to have standards as a person. From someone who gets done with senior 6 and they have no hope of getting to university, but they have faith they will be there. And the parents say, there's no money, but then you keep on pushing. You tell them you've gotten a job, you run to Kampala, there's no job, and you stay there till you get the job to university, you get done to a very wonderful job. I'm really excited that the story has actually been shared by a lady, and many ladies out there have been inspired. My name is Joshua Mitala, Mark on the camera, and this is the Profile 256. We shall be here with the 50th episode.
They are brave. They are our inspiration, our hope, mentors, and game changers. They are your leaders in the political arena, business world, entertainment, and in the paradise of sports. We bring you their stories on the Profile 256. Let's sit, learn, and get to know them better than we do. Only on Shutia TV.